decided.
I went to hit the brakes and I forgot I put your brake lines on, so it's not stopping. So I was like, e-brake! Transmission out of this car, but I don't have a choice. So, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Sorry we don't have a super long, fun cinematic intro like I've been doing, but I have to get this done today because Mr. Trans is coming up tomorrow to rebuild our 6-speed. So, if you guys don't know what's going on, our 6-speed swap that we did into our WRX, I got the 6-speed for deals, first of all, and we knew it had a reverse problem, but we were under the assumption that it was a reverse lockout issue and not an actual reverse gear issue. So, we went ahead, ordered all new reverse gears for this transmission. We got both gears and the synchro for reverse, as well as a new 4th, 5th, and 6th synchro set for this transmission. We have the carbon lined ones out of the, I believe they're the 18 plus STI transmissions that we're going to be putting into this one. This STI transmission has about 100,000 miles on it, so we're not quite sure what happened to it. So I don't know how much of the process I'm actually going to be able to show you guys of removing this 6-speed because there's just not a lot of room under the car. What we need to do though, I can walk you through that. So as you guys saw, I already have the fluid drained out of the transmission. While I was editing my last video, I figured I would just come out here and let it drain. On top of that, we need to get this intercooler pipe out of the way to be able to get the starter out of the car. We need to take the down pipe off of the turbo. That goes down to the catback down there because it's obviously tied into the transmission. And that's really all we have to do topside. I am going to disconnect the battery because there are positive cables that go over there to the starter. So I think we're going to start this off getting the bucket out from underneath the car so I don't smash the bucket, and we'll get this intercooler pipe out of the way. We'll get the starter out, get the slide pin for the clutch fork out, disengage the clutch fork from the clutch, and then drop the down pipe and then go from there. So let me get this WRX back on the ground. Let's start removing stuff out of the engine bay. Transmission's out with the help of one Matthias. He got a new camera. He's very pumped about it. So transmission's out. Johnny's coming up in the morning to swap out the reverse gears. Honestly, it wasn't terrible to take out.
5 hours less time than taking my 5E-AT out.
Yeah, this took way less time to take out the 6-speed than it did Matt's automatic, which is back there, which is that boat anchor. That thing's, dude, that thing's so heavy.
It's massive.
That thing is it's honestly like 1.2 times heavier than this, I'd say. Maybe 100 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
And like when we were getting this out, we picked it up, we were like, oh, this is really not that heavy between two people.
And then I can't even lift one side of it.
No, that thing's heavy. Heavy. I'll catch you guys in the morning when Johnny comes and we'll play with this. All right, you guys. As you can see, there's stuff going on in the background. We've got one Mr. Matthias right there. And then one Mr. Johnny Trans. We had to go to Harbor Freight this morning, grab another press, but as you guys saw last night, we got the 6-speed out of the WRX. Matt and I surprisingly were able to get that thing out way quicker than what we had anticipated. Kind of just after we get the drive shaft out, the axles out, bell housing bolts, the starter, and the slide pin. literally just came right out. So Johnny's doing this 6-speed out of the WRX. No reverse in this thing. Also doing synchros 4, 5, and 6. Matt's 6-speed is right here.
Some assembly required. Show him the blueberries, Tanner.
Show him the blueberries?
Show him the blueberries.
So Matt keeps all of his transmission stuff in this blueberry box. So that'll be fun. That's not for me. I am going to be over here dancing with Matt, trying to get over here, assembling this engine for Johnny. So we have an EJ25 with sleeve. Are they Darton sleeves, I'm guessing?
They're Benson sleeves.
Oh, they're not even.
They're claimed better.
They're not even Dart.
Apparently
they're
Darton,
claiming better than Darton.
Apparently Darton copied that design. Allegedly, I don't know. I heard. That was what I have heard.
We have a sleeved EJ25 here that I'm going to be putting together. We got cylinder heads, ARP 2000s, Grimspeed head gaskets, the whole kit and caboodle. Let's put an EJ together, and then we'll see what Johnny does with that thing. So we're getting ready to put Johnny's head gasket and head on the other side. And then I noticed there's no alignment dowels up here for the head gasket, which you need. Otherwise the head gasket can walk a little bit and you won't get proper sealing and whatnot. So luckily, one of the local Subaru dealers has 4 of them in stock. So Matt and I are gonna go grab them so that way we can actually assemble this thing in exchange for Johnny doing all of this transmission work for us. So look at him, look at that cute man over there.
You got it.
Dowels have been acquired from Subaru. Hello, Leon. I'm putting your car in this video.
It's very low.
It is very low. It's on air. Alright, so I got Johnny's engine put together for the most part. I went to go time this thing and get the cam gears on here. This thing had bearing failure, and when I popped off the covers for the cam gears, there was just metal coming out of the residual oil that was in there. So it's about as far as we can get on this thing. Heads are torqued down, valve covers are everything all sealed up. Please remember there's no spark plugs in this engine. The coil packs are just on there to help the valve cover seal, because the coil pack will press down on the valve cover as you tighten this 12 down, just to help the sealant, because I put a little bit of sealant on these just to help them cure. So engine done. Matt's 6-speed is done. Now it's time for mine, which Johnny threw on the floor and flipped it over.
To have a clean work area.
Very important to have a clean work area.
Yeah, keep all your tools very organized.
I used RTV Ultra Gray though, so.
Yeah. It's like liquid nails for transmission stuff.
I probably used a little bit too much now that I'm looking at it.
Holy shit! I'm just kidding.
Alright, so where's the problem? Do we see the problem yet?
Below this.
Oh, it's past that.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they discontinued it. Matt and I were talking about that the other day.
Did you not? I think you called me and asked me.
Yeah, because I bought the red line stuff. I have it back there like you suggested.
Oh, okay. That's helpful. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything back here that I'm...
Everything looks okay so far?
Everything is perfect.
It's weird though, because when I pulled the fluid out of this the first time, I didn't notice like a lot of metal.
Yeah.
So if it's a gear, wouldn't we have seen like a lot of metal coming out of it?
You would have noticed. You would have noticed the magnet would have had a bit of like a dome to it.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to feel if there was damage in a transmission, you'd wipe the magnet off and then rub it between your fingers. And if it's gritty, then it's like, that's when you know. Or if it's like sharp, it feels like sand, that's when you know there's like abuse damage.
Yeah.
If it's just like fuzzy and it's silky smooth between your fingers, it's just shimmery shiny, it's fine. Problem child first.
Oh, I saw it twist.
Probably not. It's a squishful thing. Let me. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Beautiful. All right, so there's going to be 4 shims.
How do you know? Where's the shims? How do you know there's 4?
Well, there's 2 spacers and 2 shims. So there's that's
a spacer.
That's a spacer with a shim on it.
And then that's the other shim.
That's another.
Oh, that's
spacer.
another. Oh, what?
That's a spacer. That's a shim. It just stops the input shaft from walking back and forth.
You want me to start taking out these lowercase bolts?
You can.
Would it help?
Yeah.
Cool. Holy fuck.
Man, this really does smell like super lube.
What's that? Is that supposed to fall out?
Oh my god!
Alright, where's reverse?
Oh, there's D10.
Oh, is this fucked up? Is that supposed to be fucked up? Is that it? Bro, I don't know what the fuck.
It all looks fine. You're like, is that little slot a problem?
Is that it?
Is that it? No. Normally, the bell housing, I slip it off. But
Oh shit, you did it.
yeah.
Oh shit, dude, you did it. You just yeeted it out of there. That's my transmission?
Whole gear set, 1 through 6.
Tight.
Yeah.
Good. You
Like-
know what I torque head studs to? Good and tight.
What did you torque them to?
Good and You have a better idea. All my broken reverse gear is gonna bark out. So Johnny has already replaced the synchros. I'm sorry, I've been like cleaning the irons and getting all the mating surfaces to be prepared so that way when we go to reassemble this, all we have to do is slap on some sealant and get everything like tightened back down. So with this, we're using a chrome socket over the input shaft to press all of the gear sets together
Onto my hand.
onto his hand because he's a champ. So the old synchros, they're these 3 brass ones, right? So are all these synchros the same, Johnny? Are all 3 of these the same?
Yeah, they're all the same.
So 3rd, 4th, and 6th is, or 4th, 5th, 6th
4th, 5th, 6th.
is all the same. And then on Matt's you did 3rd also, right?
We bought it, we didn't use it.
There we go, white dots are lined back up. So we've got that gear there. We've got, this one's the synchro, right?
Yes, that is a reverse.
Reverse gear synchro, and then this is, so are both of these reverse gears then that you had me buy?
There's both sides of it. So you have the side that's driven by the input shaft, and then you have the side that is driving the output shaft.
Interesting. This, that, like, I thought these gears intermeshed. No, they are totally different from one another. So that right there was our problem. There's no synchro that can engage on anything anymore, and all the teeth are like royally screwed on it.
So we'll yank this guy apart because, you know, you're gonna see the damage here. So there's our engaging teeth there. You can see that they're pretty rounded over. Yep, and then the synchro, you know, just for the sake of seeing how worn something is. See, this is the old synchro. I can push as much pressure as I want on this and it just spins. Normally, this should apply like a brake pad, and as you can see, it is not doing that.
So that's why I had no reverse right here.
That would be the
so
reason.
Instead of it slowing down, it just
And the fork.
smashed
So-
things up against that.
So in reality, this synchro is what stops the transmission from grinding when you're rolling backwards at like 4 miles an hour. If you've ever driven an older WRX, like an 06 WRX,
Yeah.
if you're rolling backwards at more than 1 mile an hour and you put it in reverse, it goes crunch.
Yep.
This has a synchro so that when you put it in reverse, it does not crunch. And then, as you can see, your engaging teeth
All fucked.
are completely rounded over to the point that they are actually no longer engaging properly. As you can see, I'm struggling to get that to actually even go on there. It can go in reverse, but it doesn't mean it's going to stay in reverse.
Is this why we were able to get the
This is-
transmission to go in reverse, but it wouldn't move? And as soon as we applied torque to it, it would just go.
Yeah, so
Make that
this is
connection.
exactly what's going on inside of the transmission. This is Tanner shoving with all of his might on the shifter and destroying his shift pads. And then this is it, the inside of the transmission, not applying any torque to go backwards. So this is that grind you hear, and it's because these teeth are so mushroomed over, they will no longer slip on top of that.
Oh, that's fun.
Time to replace everything. And the fork.
And the fork. Yeah, the fork is. I already
The
showed
fork
the
is
fork.
broken, yeah.
Yeah, I showed the fork. The fork is damaged also. Is it just the ends on the fork?
Yeah, it's like the
The fork pads. Completely trashed. And I would imagine this is from the person trying to get it to go in reverse when it wasn't.
Yeah.
So this is just,
that probably happened from Tanner.
this could have been Tanner.
Yeah, the one time we tried to go in reverse from the driveway back in here.
And you're like shoving the shit out of the stick, and you're like, this can't be good. And then I take it apart, and I'm like, that is not good anymore.
This is not good at all.
These eyes have seen a lot of things
Alright,
that
so-
I'm never gonna see in
Eat
you.
the fuck out of this socket and be like, oh no, my side.
So I've got all the mating surfaces pretty much cleaned up. So at this point, what are we doing, John?
We're gonna reassemble our shift forks onto our shafts, reinstall the iron mid plate, put the reverse gear back in it with the new fork, new reverse componentry here.
No.
If you'd like to, if you'd like to demonstrate how cash money, the scientific term, how it shifts into reverse.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
and then try to twist the gears apart from each other, like they're locked together.
Oh yeah.
So it actually works like it's supposed to.
Yeah, wow, that's like
weird.
That's weird because it's like how it's supposed to be.
It didn't do that before.
See, this is nice because we're starting out with the one that we leave.
So huge shout out to Johnny. He got this thing all sorted. We have reverse again. I don't like transmissions. I don't feel comfortable dealing with these. After watching this man go through 2 of them, I still don't feel comfortable, but
you just plow through things just like life with reckless abandon, and then somehow at the end of it all, you end up final result that's
you end up with a 6-speed that works. So
yeah, you end up with a transmission that works. You just
I'll put Johnny's info down below in the comments for you guys. So auto, any transmission.
Do not tell them autos. I do
5 or 6 speed.
I'm gonna get 16 people to be like, please rebuild my 1996 Ford Aerostar minivan transmission. I can't touch those.
5-speed, 6-speed stuff.
Yeah.
Hit him up. I'll put his info down below.
Standard transmission.
Contact information. I'll put his address so that way you guys can show up at his house.
I never even gave you my address.
It's the internet. We can find it. So, dude knocked out both my transmission and Matt's transmission. And why don't I have a ground on my transmission like you do? Probably was. We probably ripped it off.
You mentioned the internet there, but you still couldn't figure out my last name.
Shut up. So we're at the point now where we're pretty much ready to toss the transmission back in. It's obviously the next morning. It's actually next afternoon. We had to run errands this morning and then find a way to be able to get the transmission back up to the engine. So we went over to Harbor Freight and we found an ATV and a motorcycle lift. So we have the transmission sitting on that underneath of the car. I'm waiting for Matt to get back right now so that way I have a second hand. So that way if the transmission falls on me, if the car falls on me, I don't die alone underneath of the car. So as soon as Matt gets back, we're gonna get this thing realigned, hooked back up to the engine, hopefully, and then just toss all the other little small stuff back on and hopefully be done with this saga of a no reverse gear in this car because I'm pretty over it at this point. I'm done with it. I am absolutely wiped. I am going to finish this in the next video, you guys. I can't even finish in this one anyway. Subaru parts department is closed and I need crush washers for the drain plugs on the transmission anyways. Didn't really think that through or order them. And I would like to get this video out today because this video is already like 20 minutes long. But transmission, dude, awful. Absolutely, I didn't even film most of it because it just fucking sucked. Matt, how much of that was enjoyable? The jack that we were using for this, I don't know if it's, yeah, it's still down there. That ATV jack, I'll link that down below. That actually worked surprisingly well for putting the transmission in here. Everything works. You wanna give us a little shifting action? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, reverse. How's it feel?
Good. I'll probably feel better with fluid in it.
Yeah.
But
dude, that's so tiring. This is why I say, and Matt says it too, we would 100% rather pull an engine to do a clutch on a car than drop the transmission, put the transmission back in. Like if you have a full-blown lift, like a full-blown 2-post lift, and like all the proper tools and all the proper equipment to be able to do a transmission that way, it's not bad. But when you're,
to be honest,
yeah, I probably would still do the engine also. When you're like crawling around under the car with a, what, 500-pound transmission on top of you, and you're like, all right, don't let this fall on me. it will probably crush me and probably kill me. And this is where I will die, is underneath of a Subaru. In the next video, we're gonna wrap up the last of the stuff with the WRX. We're gonna try to find the one fuel leak. These will probably be the only 2 intermittent WRX brake videos before we get back to the STI. I'm waiting on parts to come in for the STI anyway, so this kind of works out as an intermittent brake from the STI to get the WRX fully roadworthy. We'll have reverse again, transmission will be refreshed. The fuel issue we need to figure out. I'm not too worried about that right now, but we have reverse again, so that's cool. I guess that's cool. Reverse is a luxury, and I wanted that luxury back. You got a full-blown 6-speed now too, so you Gucci also.
We're all back together.
We getting back together. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver sign, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be one of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies. Woo!